Good afternoon. Today is July 1st, 2025, and currently at the Commissioners meeting. So if everyone would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to be started off with, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Now, we'll go, any minutes, Ginger?
Yes. There are commission meeting minutes for May 13th, 2025. And for June 3rd, 2025.
Okay.
I'll move to approve both of those, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sir, I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
unanimous.
Yes, sir.
It's recording, right?
Yes.
Yeah, reports is next.
That'll make it
That would be
easier.
you.
Yeah, you need to look at this, Ginger. It's on, it should be online by the end of the day.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It will. Usually,
Yeah,
only see it once, but it wasn't.
Main's pretty quick about it. You'd have to hold these for Craig when he gets back.
I just wondered if he came in and then Ginger had him sign most of the speaker. I guess it was-
Yeah, whenever you put him on the desk out in front of the commission office too, or on the.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Mhm. Are you gonna take that stuff back, Ginger, to over to Helen's or?
Sure.
Okay, it's up to you. Otherwise, I'm sure I can. Just ask another one, just hang on to these. I'll give them a few more. Thank you. All right. Any reports, Ginger?
Quick reporters report
Okay,
for June fees.
I'm sorry, June, what June?
Fees.
Oh, okay. June fees, oh, $9,451.
Yep. You can show that in the minutes
Yes,
that we
please.
received that report. That'd be another good month, Ginger.
Doing well.
Doing my part to support the general fund.
The what?
Doing my part to support the general fund.
There you go. Oh, a little bit helps.
Yeah, it needs every penny you can get.
Yeah.
And now, any correspondence?
Probably everybody's already known, but Marta Portolio resigned off the House of Representatives for the state representative for our district, so we're in the process of appointing a new one. The Central Committee, the Republican Central Committee will bring forth 3 names to us to for a pool for us to choose from. So we have yet to hear of any names. At least I haven't heard of any names on that list yet, but it sounds like they've got 3 names. We just haven't got them yet. They have 45 days to get them to us, and I think we have 14 days.
14 days.
And I don't know if is that something we got to put on the agenda, Steve, to
I
formally?
think probably since it's, I think it'd be, its discretion would be better to do that.
Overkill, then yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a formal agenda.
Just
So we'll have to make sure to get that on the agenda within that time frame
Yeah, I agree with
when
you.
we get those 3 names.
Get it in there somehow.
So
Yeah.
I think that's all I have for correspondence, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything. How, a calendar review. I know you don't have anything, Ginger. How about I start with you, Commissioner Kirsch? What have you got for this upcoming week?
Yeah, I didn't print my calendar.
Excuse me.
Look here.
Oh, I might be able to get yours on
I can go
my phone.
first if you want.
I got it right here.
Oh,
After this meeting, Steve, the county attorney, and Doug Dodge, our DS coordinator, are gonna sit down and talk about our county co-op program. They've got our part of our agreement saying that we'll make sure that all the fire departments have workman's comp, which kind of puts us in a bind because we have no control over the fire, not really the fire departments, but the fire district. So
Mhm.
we're gonna talk about that after this meeting.
Oh,
Central Shop and road safety meeting. They bumped that back a day to Wednesday this week, so that'll be tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. if anybody's interested in making it up for that early meeting. And BTAC is on the 3rd of July. They didn't move that, so that should still be going 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Thursday morning. And I think that's about it for this week. I don't think there's anything going on Monday, so yeah, that's about all I've got.
Okay, tomorrow at 1 p.m. I have the BD working group in Butte. And then, Thursday, nothing there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I guess that's it. That's it. Can't believe that one. I think I'm in the right one. Yeah, that's all I have. Is there anything you're seeing at all, Ginger? Or
I'm sorry, I cannot get into her
that's
laptop,
quite all right.
and I
Nope.
can't bring the calendar up
And
on
I
my
can't
phone.
speak for Commissioner Doolittle, so,
I know there's no survey review this week.
oh, all right. Okay, then moving right along, we have, I think it's reports. Yep, commission report.
Mission reports. You want me to go first, Mr. Chairman?
By all means, go ahead, sir.
Well, I'm going back almost a month here because we haven't had an afternoon
I hear
meeting
you.
for 3 weeks, I
Yeah.
don't think. So
You're correct.
back on June 5th, we had a road safety meeting and we got another one tomorrow. So it has been a month. Jesse wasn't there for this particular training. Bear went over basic safety issues, commended crew for safe performance. Everything's going great with the road crew as far as safety, and that was a good meeting. Same day as the BTAC meeting. Schools are expecting 85 to 90 freshmen this year.
Holy moly.
The high school, I should say. That's a bunch, yeah. Elkhorn Community Foundation put out 15 grants, awarded 15 grants. That's pretty good for them. Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch, still working on getting the girls' home operational. I think that's kind of their goal. Once they get the right staffing in place, then they'll be able to work on getting their new facility up and running, which we're sponsoring the which grant is-
CDBG.
CBDG grant, yeah. So as soon as that happens, we will probably be looking at another grant for them. Boulder Monitor's working on a grant for staff housing as well. I think they were getting close to where they know whether they're gonna get that or not. I haven't heard yet. Animal shelter grand opening was last week, I think Friday or Saturday, June 28th. Haven't heard how that went. I saw some stuff on Facebook, looked like it was well attended. Harlow's is gonna try to do a hiring fair, doing a citywide garage sale here in Boulder on July 12th. So I haven't figured out if they're gonna do it at the fairgrounds. They might do it at City Hall just to get a little more visibility. So we'll see what happens there. On the 10th of June, we had a solid waste board. His department's running well as always. We're talking about transitioning Clancy and Basin over from Saturdays to a Sunday open day, just to free up some of his workers on Saturdays. He struggles getting workers on Saturdays because every site is open, so I'm gonna look at that possibly in July. And we talked about the public meetings that we're gonna talk about rate increases for a new truck and just operations in general. The 16th, we did a whole bunch of budget meetings. I think that was the week of the 16th, June, yeah, the week of the 16th. We were here almost every day, all day for budget meetings with the department heads, and that went very well. Almost everybody was just held the line this year. No increase, no huge increases, and there really isn't any big projects that anybody needs right now, which is great. We also met with the planning department and treasurer on Tuesday, the 17th, and they gave us a quick update on what's going on in their department. Wednesday, the 18th, JLDC had a meeting. I think we met in the Clancy schoolhouse over there. We're looking at our annual, we used to call it the members meeting, but I think it's just a kind of a annual banquet, I guess is what you'd call it. Usually about 75 people there. We're looking at late September, but this one's gonna be down in Whitehall. They're trying to figure out if we can get the Whitehall Community Center or the Whitetail Center to host that JLDC get together, that dinner. Lease updates, one new tenant possibly build their own warehouse up at the South Tippett district down there, the business park. They got a new tenant coming into one of their warehouses out there, just temporarily, it sounds like, until they can build their own build their own out. So we'll see if that happens. That'd be kind of neat to have somebody actually build something out there besides JLDC. Events and collaboration, Clancy Days, they were there. They did very well. Lots of people came to see them. Got a lot of good feedback from that. They're working on Frontier Days now, being a good sponsor for that. And also the Fair and Rodeo here in Boulder in late August. They're gonna try to go to that job fair that Harlow's is putting on the July 12th, the garage sale day. Let's see, they're working on their strategic planning, and Golden Shovel's pushing that through, and you probably got a survey on your email. I don't know if all you guys did, but
It's all done.
they're trying to put together some kind of vision and some kind of direction for JLDC, so hopefully that works out for them. They were okay with the final growth policy. The county growth policy, they were, not too happy that they weren't a little more formally involved with the process of, especially where their names are put in there. So I think next time we do the growth policy, we'll look at that closer to whoever's actually mentioned in the growth policy gets an opportunity to comment maybe a little bit more than the general public. So, which I agree with.
Can that be
But
amended?
isn't part of that on them? Because I mean, they had meetings out the yin yang.
They did, and I think they thought that since they were mentioned in there, that they should have probably had an opportunity to comment besides what the regular public did, which I can see that, if we're mentioned and we're, what they saying in there, we're gonna do this in this policy, shouldn't you maybe check with us and say, is it okay if we say you're gonna do this in the policy kind of thing? But what was said in there, and we kind of, straightened that out for him at one of the meetings, that this isn't a policy that's binding. We're not gonna make you do anything in there. So they were okay with that, but it helps them get grants and stuff too. So, GLDC has a grant. They say, are you in the growth policy? Yes, you are. You're all set. So that helps them get points on grants too. So that'll help them out. Membership for JLDC, they're working on collaboration and engagement instead of door knocking. So that's kind of what they're doing, going all these events, trying to get people to sign up for JLDC, try to be a member. So we'll see how that does. I think they've got a good strategy there. Their marketing is doing Facebook brochures, and they're also visiting businesses. I think Mandy's doing that, Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch lady. She's the vice president of JLDC. She's doing a great job on marketing. Let's see, anything else worth mentioning? I think that's it. Our next meeting is going to be in Boulder, probably the week before, because the week of, actually we skipped July, we're going to go August, late August in Boulder, but that's fair time, so we're going to bump it back to the 13th of August for a Boulder meeting. So that was JLDC.
I would ask, I know you talked about the girls, corrections out there. Have we, or have you heard anything back from corrections, whether or not we're still in the running as for the county?
I haven't. I actually reached out to the director and the deputy director last week or the week before, and they said it's really in a holding pattern. They haven't gone past what we've already talked about. So when they get some more information and move forward a little farther, I think we'll probably be in the conversation, but nothing but crickets right now.
No, I appreciate that because I got people asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did solid waste public meetings around the county. We started in Montana City and then came to Boulder. Is that right? Then went down to Whitehall.
Mhm.
We probably had between 6 and 10 at each of those, and every one of them was very positive, and I think they see the need for a rate increase for just efficiency and just overall operations for that program. So we'll make a decision on that, I think on the 29th of July. Yeah. We'll have that on our agenda for a public hearing and then a
Yeah,
resolution.
Helen did give me that information, so.
She's got
I
that
just
for
have
you.
to
Okay,
finalize the documents and get them back to her.
We got to advertise that for 2 weeks in a row before the meeting.
Yeah, and the last advertisement has to be 5 days before,
For the meeting itself.
no less than 5 days. So what I thought is I'll try to get that finished up and to Helen tomorrow for publication on the 8th and the 15th, even if we went to the or the 9th and the 16th, excuse me, even if we went to the 16th and 23rd, we'd still be okay.
Yeah, any of those 3 weeks would work perfectly for that. So yeah, all those public meetings went very well. People were very happy with the service itself, so Mike's doing a great job.
I have to agree. I'd say the transparency, that was a plus right there.
Yeah,
Because there were
absolutely.
people that were against it, but by the time they walked up, they said, we understand now what it's all about. So they said, we're for it.
And some of the people were actually like, why don't you charge us more, get a little bit more going, well, you guys charge us barely anything, and I was, well, we gotta just make it work, but we're not here to make money, we're here to just break
Well,
even.
as I told Ginger today, if, it's roughly a $45 a year increase.
Right,
And if a site here closes down or a site in Clancy or Montana City, and they gotta drive to Montana City to dump,
right,
they're gonna chew that up in gas in a heartbeat.
oh, absolutely,
It's true.
it's like $3
Very
more
true.
a month or something, yeah. Let's see, on the 24th, which was a Tuesday, we had a facilities update and a GIS update. Both those departments are doing well. No big news for either of those ones. Facilities is working on getting a man lift to get the fascia and trying to think what those windows and stuff are called at the very top of the courthouse. He's gonna get a man lift to get up there.
Cobolers?
Yeah, that might be what it is, yeah. Dormers, that's what I'm thinking.
Dormers, yeah.
Yeah, the dormers sticking out there, the paint's starting to peel and fade off those, so he's gonna try to get those prepped and painted and have that man lift for a couple weeks, and I'm thinking a couple weeks probably isn't gonna be enough for that, but I think he'll have the option to keep it for longer.
Didn't he say he was gonna do something with the clocks too? Right.
Yeah, he's working on getting the clock to work up there, and he may use that man lift to get to the outside of the clock where the hands and stuff are. He said the thing's gonna be totally digital, and I asked him, is it gonna say 12:03 instead of have hands up there? And he kind of laughed at that. He's like, nah, that's not the digital part. It's the actual not the mechanism, but the control of the thing.
Yeah, that would look a tad bit out of place.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see, last week on the 25th had a solid waste safety meeting. Jesse went over PPE and the proper use of that and how it's important. No lost time injuries. We did have one injury. One of the truck drivers jumped off the truck and twisted their knee just wrong, and which they've jumped off the truck many a times, but never had a knee injury. But no lost time, shouldn't affect our work comp. He'll have to go get that knee looked at. So I'm getting there. I'm about halfway through.
No, you're doing
Mr.
good. You're
Chairman.
taking up with Commissioner Doolittle, so we're good.
Yeah. Also on the 25th, I had a DEQ Drinking Water Advisory Committee meeting, and that's through the DEQ in Helena. It's a state revolving fund that they use to help fund water projects around the state for safe drinking water. And I'm part of that committee via MACO. I'm like the MACO rep for that. And they just pretty much go over their big list of projects that they fund each year and make sure everybody's good with them. They've got approximately $67 million being awarded in fiscal year 2026, which is the year coming fourth year. We've actually got two Boulder projects, one new well and distribution system improvements project and a storage tank and generators project within that program. And then also Whitehall has one, and that's a new great big storage tank. I'm not sure if you were aware they're gonna put a storage tank up there, but
Where's that at?
in Whitehall. I don't know where they're gonna put it, but they've asked for funding from this grant for that, so,
I know they recently did a land swap with the school.
okay.
I thought they did that a long time ago, though.
They
Yeah, with the
they
survey.
did the land swap a while ago.
Okay, yeah.
So I think the
Yeah.
purpose of that land swap was for.
For the water tank,
Mhm.
it's like 1 million gallons, maybe that's.
Yeah,
not
that's, I'm
big
sure
for
she's
a-
right. It was
Yeah.
leaking. I mean, it's my stuff taken care of.
So we're just an advisory committee. We kind of take a look at it and point out anything that might be amiss, but they do an outstanding job. The people that put that whole thing together are just amazing. They do a good job, and they rate them all, they put them all in order, and yeah, they do a good job. And it self-generates. They got money that keeps coming back from the payments people pay, and then they get federal funding in, and they actually forgive a lot of the loans and the grants that they put forth. So it's a great program. They're just like everybody else, worried about federal funding dropping out, then they'll have to change things, but.
Right.
Last Wednesday, Clancy Water Sewer District meeting. Test well bids were in. Lindsay over there in Clancy was the low bid. They're still gonna pay $58,000 for each well. They're gonna probably drill 2 wells if they can get the places for them. They're working with Keith Foley on property south of Old Hellhammer, kind of by the state section back there. He's got a section that kind of bumps up, I think, against the state section. There's a couple good spots up there, so they're looking at this place there, and then we're working on Steve Marks to get a place there by Lump Gulch somewhere to pop a hole and see what kind of water we can get out of there. And that was about all the meeting, and that was Megan's last meeting over there. She's been with that group ever since the inception of it, and kind of a sad time to see her go in the middle of that project, but let's see, last Thursday, RMDC, Rocky Mountain Developmental Corp, they're bidding out their audit services. They have an auditor now, but every 5 years or something, they gotta re-bid that thing. We gotta do that once in a while for our contract services. Their actual existing audit services came in a little high, but they said they're gonna stick with them because if we get a new auditor in, then it takes them more time and energy. It would make up for that little bit extra bid money just in their time and labor to try to explain everything to the new firm. So they stuck with their old company. They're contracting out some janitorial services. They're having problems hiring janitorial people, so they're gonna have to contract out part of them. They'll still have some in-house janitorial people there, but it's like the same story everywhere you go. Nobody can find anybody to hire.
Right.
No matter what it is,
Unfortunately.
and they're really crunching their budget because a lot of their funding comes from the feds, and they don't know what's going to come and what's not going to come. But if they get a big cut, they're going to be in really tough shape, and they're looking for alternate funding. And I was going to ask Ginger because we mill for their services somehow. They were asking if we're up to our total mill for what they request, or I don't know how that works, but I was gonna get with you and figure that out.
Is that one of the mental health fees?
I'm not sure. I have to see where their money comes from. I'll have to look back and see where we actually pull that out of, but as far as I know, we're legally able to mill for, I don't know if it's, it might be part of the senior center services or something. So we may be totally maxed out on that millage, but they wanted us to look to see if they could scratch out any more funding from us.
If you please remind me next week, I
Yeah.
can look into that.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Yesterday I ran up to Clancy. Some locals up there are concerned with the floodplain mapping part of it there. They have the floodplain maps show if there was a 100-year event that the water would hit the bridge there by the old red schoolhouse, and some of it would divert north towards the legal tender up there, and not very much flow, but it's showing on that map that would be affected by the flood. And the engineers up there say it wouldn't, because there's a culvert between like the legal tender and that bridge that would take care of 90% of any of that overflow that went that way. And I think it's DEQ or DNRC. I think it's DNRC said we don't look at any culvert less than 36 inches on the floodplain map. So you got a little bit of flow going that way, but a little pipe, they're gonna count the little flow, but they're not gonna count the little pipe that would take care of it. So we're working on getting that alleviated, see if we can get that changed or clarified anyway. And we didn't meet with the road department or health nurse this morning. Our union negotiations took over our whole morning, so I think that's all I've been up to the last few weeks, Mr. Chairman. Busy enough.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, on my, excuse me, June 4th, which was Wednesday, Beaver Head Deer Lodge Working Group took a field trip to the Basin Reservoir, which is in the Butte area, to see the completion of the area. Thereafter, the group talked about the urgency of having a travel management plan in place. U.S. Forest Service Deputy Director Corey Llewellyn, who was there, advised the group that Director Ellen Watson had just retired, and Corey was now the new acting supervisor. And then Delmo Lake Campground area will be closed next year for the reconstruction of their recreation area, and that's been confirmed.
Delmo will be closed?
Yeah, it was supposed to happen this year, but with everything going on, they had to prolong it. until next year. But
Okay.
That's what I've been told.
Probably
And
the
then
quietest year up there ever.
maybe you just have to go this side or that side.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Home
People
safe.
are creative.
Oh, you, well, never mind. Jefferson River Watershed Council, I wasn't able to attend that, and then Weed Board Council meeting, it got canceled. And let's see, Thursday, the 12th, the Community Transition Advisory Committee, the CTAC meeting. Golden Sunlight Mine reported having processed 38,000 tons that were processed last month, and they are currently all full staff. And then.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, do they give you a amount of minerals they get out of there?
No, what it is I forgot the guy's name. They got somebody brand new that took Christie's place.
Okay.
And I met him, but that guy likes to talk real fast and I'm trying to write it down. So, yeah, I usually read it in the minutes, and I'm sorry, I'm in this upcoming meeting we'll have. I can give you more clarification, give you the minutes. But he goes fast. And he
Cause
said-
back when they were going under, even when they were.
Yeah, exactly.
They would report, oh, we got so many tons of ore, but that
Mhm.
came out, I don't know how many ounces of gold. I think they actually said that in their meetings, but
They did.
since they got this new float device, I haven't heard anything
And I'll have to
about.
talk to this gentleman and ask him all that, or pull him to the side.
Yeah, if they've got,
You know,
if they got statistics on how much gold, that
be
would help
nice,
us.
you know, but it'd be nice if we saw some of that.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe a question right now for Terry, and I think Leonard had a good handle on it, is the proceeds that we do get from what they haul.
Mhm.
I think 2025 is when we were supposed to start seeing some, so.
Oh, we are,
So maybe-
2025?
I know there's a lag there.
Because Leonard asked this question already and they couldn't answer at the CTAC meeting.
Terry might know, between Terry and Department of Revenue,
Okay,
that could be helpful.
okay, go with her next and see, because last time there wasn't anything, is what Terry had said, but that wasn't now, 2025. Thank you. Okay, what's, then, Whitehall Town Hall meeting, wasn't able to attend due to the, public meetings with, solid waste. And then the DUI Task Force meeting, which was Tuesday the 17th, it was an informal meeting, not very many people were there. So we couldn't vote on anything, but Montana Highway Patrol provided Barb Reeder with their statistics for the last month. One open container, one minor in possession, one DUI under the age of 21, and 2 DUIs over the age of 21. That wasn't very productive. And then the task force received an application from a school student wanting to be considered as a candidate for the DUI task force. No action will be taken until August due to the task force not meeting in this upcoming month, or this month now. And in Parks Trails Recreation, I wasn't able to attend due to solid waste meeting, so. And then the library board meeting met the 26th last Thursday. Meeting was held in Whitehall. Discussion was about the upcoming budget as they're waiting to see outcome after August, September of this year. That's pretty much all I have. All right, moving right along. Opportunity for public comment. Doug, are you coming on behalf of the public at any point in time, or are you as a county employee?
I'm coming as a county employee.
Okay, then we don't need to do opportunity for public comment because nobody's on there, so.
Your roads are all good, everything?
I have a private road, so. Private. And it does need work, but I can only yell at myself, so.
More batteries for the drone.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on. All right, resolution 10-2025, adopting the Western Montana Region Hazard Mitigation Plan. Excuse me. If I get through this, me. Resolution number 10-2025, resolution adopting the 2024 Western Montana Region Hazard Mitigation Plan and Annex F. Whereas Jefferson County, a political subdivision of the state of Montana, recognizes the threat, environmental and man-made hazards posed to people and property in Jefferson County, and whereas undertaking hazard mitigation actions will reduce the potential for harm to people and property from future hazard occurrences, and whereas adoption of a hazard mitigation plan is required as a condition for future funding of mitigation projects under multiple federal emergency management agency pre- and post-disaster mitigation grant programs, and whereas Jefferson County resides within the planning area and fully participated in the mitigation planning process to prepare this hazard mitigation plan, and whereas given the length of the Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, 456 pages, attachment of the mitigation plan to this resolution as an exhibit is impractical Accordingly, reference is made to the following where the mitigation plan can be referenced. And it gives a website here of des.mt.gov/mitigation/Montana -western -region -base -plan 10/29/24 combined PDF. Whereas Annex F compromises the policies adopted for Jefferson County's hazardous mitigation plan, and that will be incorporated into the Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Again, due to its length, 61 pages, attachment of Annex F to this resolution is impractical. Accordingly, reference is made to Jefferson County's website, where Annex F can be Jefferson County -mt.gov /WP -content /upload/annex _F _Jefferson _county _12.06.24 final.pdf. It is resolved that Jefferson County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2024 to 2029 as an official plan. The entire plan is hereby incorporated by reference, and it is further resolved the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts Annex F as part of the Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2024-2029, and it is hereby incorporated by reference, and it is further resolved Jefferson County, Montana will submit this resolution number 09-2025, resolution adopting the 2024 Western Montana Region Hazard Mitigation Plan to the Montana Disaster Emergency Services, a federal emergency management agency, Region 8. Official to enable plans final approval. While some content may require revisions to meet the plan approval requirements, changes occurring after the adopting will not require Jefferson County, Montana to readopt any further iterations of the plan dated this first day of July 2025. Anyway.
Can you read that one more time? I
You
thought
want-
I heard a typo in that.
Me. Whereas,
There actually was
whereas.
a resolution. Did you
I
hear
always
the
thought we got
resolution?
out of this law thing in the sense, whereas, hereas.
Was there a
Okay.
resolution number wrong in there, Ginger? Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's, I think you
20.
were either towards the bottom of the first page or onto the second page. It says, it should,
09/2025.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, thanks, last one.
Sorry, typo.
I think it was.
Oh, it's right here. This should be 10.
Oh, you're right. Yep, you're right. Okay. So that's down on, it is further resolved, Jefferson County, Montana will submit this resolution, which has now been changed. 10-2025, resolution adopting 2024 Western Montana Region Hazard Mitigation Plan to the Montana Disaster Emergency Services and Federal Emergency.
Is this something we're gonna be able to put the whole document in Laserfish, Ginger, or is that gonna be a hyperlink as well, or
That's a good question.
is that 400 some?
It's 402 pages.
It's a large document.
And I figured if I attached it to the resolution, that Ginger would have my.
I think if it's online, I can probably download it and get it in there pretty
It
easily.
won't eat up your space.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that too, how permanent it is on that website, so.
Got over 500 pages by the time you throw the annex.
Right, yeah, that's a huge
And
document.
I'll have the final copies that I was planning on just bringing those over in PDF form, not the final documents, unless you want me to print them, which I will if I need to, but.
She's
Yeah.
just gonna scan them anyway.
Right,
Throw them in the
so,
garbage.
so I'll just bring you the digital versions that I get, if that works for you, or if you wanna just download them yourself, you can get them on the site, so either
Yeah.
way.
I think that's doable. Downloading them into the Laserfish.
Okay, so I guess in this case, we'd have to have a motion to change that, right? At 10-2025.
Yeah, I think Helen can just reprint that
Correction?
first page.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
she could just reprint that. That's not anything.
Okay. All right,
She's got it in word processing.
Yeah.
so that's not a problem then? Okay,
Doesn't change the substance of the resolution, so we should be fine.
okay.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 10/2025 adopting Western Montana Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, Mr. Chairman.
You got it
You're
memorized.
supposed to catch that, Doug.
And I'll second that. So all those in favor?
Hold on, let's maybe let Doug.
Oh, Doug, yes, I'm sorry. You discussed it. Excuse me. Yes.
I just wanted to give the commissioners, Mr. Chairman, thank you, and Commissioner, appreciate the opportunity, just wanted to mention, explain a little bit about this.
Sure.
Just as a reminder, it's the follow-up. We used to be called the Pre-Disaster Mitigation Plan, PDM. Now it's called the Hazard Mitigation Plan. We always like to change acronyms, but regardless, it's an important document for the county to adopt, for us to remain qualified to obtain grants. And it's very statistical in nature, and it was done by a contractor. Thankfully, didn't cost us anything. It was other than my time to coordinate some of the updates and things like that, reviewing the stuff from the contractor, but it was all done through Montana DES, and each county said we had to say we would participate, and then also local jurisdictions. I'm also gonna go before the Whitehall Town Council, I think in 3 weeks. And then also the Boulder City Council, and give them the opportunity to adopt it. I try to I've sent email updates on all these things, and of course, it's 450 some pages or whatever it is, so I'm sure a lot of people aren't terribly interested in reading that, but it's an important document, has some great statistical information on the county, and I recommend that we adopt this. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer as best I can.
Well, this time, thanks, Doug, appreciate it. Any other discussion? All those in favor then?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay.
Did we get any bids for the trailer? Ellen was wondering that yesterday if we actually got any bids, because she didn't have anything.
I haven't gotten anything.
Okay. You ready for the next resolution?
Mhm.
Resolution 11-2025, to cancel uncalled for warrants. There you go. Do you need all that? Want to look at it?
This is what we do almost every year, is just all the checks that we send out. Some don't get cash, so we have to go through this process to get them off our books essentially. And it's quite a list this year. I don't know what the total is, but
That's what I was wondering.
there's a couple from the FNI group, which Terry, I think, tried to track down diligently and still couldn't find them. We owe them almost $5,000 in here. But yeah, it's just writing off checks that we sent out and they didn't cash, and they're still sitting on the books, so.
How many we got there, clients? Just, and then we can go that way.
How many of them?
Yeah,
Probably
like
20 of them, I suppose.
It's about 20 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the resolution says, whereas subsection 762607 MCA requires the board to cause to be canceled all county warrants that have remained uncalled for 1 year or more in county clerk's office, whereas the Board of County Commissioners has received a list of uncalled for warrants from the county treasurer. Therefore, therefore be it resolved that the following warrants be canceled. And that's it.
Okay, entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 11-2025, cancel uncalled for warrants.
Okay, I'll second that. Any discussion? No discussion, all those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
passed.
And then this other, you guys just said there's no bids yet.
You were scratching our heads yesterday.
I'm
Helen.
really surprised that
Yeah.
Dave didn't put in for something else.
If they did get bids, we did not receive them, so.
What happens at this point, then it's just null and void, or
They
what?
would probably have to put it on the agenda
That's what I
again.
thought.
Yeah, if they did get some bids and they didn't get to us. Just delays them a little ways, but if they didn't get any bids, they'll probably have to redo it.
Okay, then if we don't have any bids, that's pretty much it. Anything else that's not on the agenda? Other than that, then this meeting will be adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you, sir.
and meeting.